When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Social Media Derby. We have a very interesting episode with a lot of football that has been played since we last went live. So it's going to be a fun one for some of us, and maybe a not so fun one for others. We've got myself, Rhys, Khem, and we also have Rhys joining. So we'll have representation from Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea today. No Man United. They're ducking the smoke as they always do. But we'll just have to get our digs in while we can, and I'm sure there'll be more losses for us to talk about with them. So don't worry, we'll know the chance at that. But as always, for those of you watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, and share if you can. For those of you listening on Spotify, Apple, or any other podcasting platform, please follow and give us a 5-star review if you can. And as always, views expressed in this podcast are purely for entertainment purposes. They don't necessarily reflect any of the opinions of people on the podcast or any affiliated organizations. We're just having jokes. This is purely for entertainment purposes. So let's get into it. But before we do, Rhys, Khem, how you guys feel? It's been a very different week for the two of you. So we'll start with you, Rhys. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good. I feel good. Yes, wonderful, good. Hey, what a time to be a Gunner. Hey, I'm well, man. How are you doing, brother Jonts?
I'm feeling real good. I wasn't sure what to make of it. Yesterday definitely had the ability to ruin it for us, but I'm just happy to come out of it with 2 dubs, and especially given what happened around us. But Khem, mate, you got your hood up, drinking Coke Zero like it's going out of business. How you feeling, man?
It's actually KA, mate. Come on, man. Come on.
Okay, KA. All right, a better choice.
This isn't Burnley. I have a migraine, and now I have to listen to you guys. So I am, not loving football. But you know what? You guys are happy, and I feel that. So I'm happy. I'm happy for you guys. I'm actually happy for you. So yeah, it's a nice feeling when it's like been a while. So I love it, man. Love that for you.
So it's an interesting angle you're taking. We will talk about this a little bit later. We are going to start with the only team that does not play in Europe. We are going to start with Manchester United, because really, let's get out there. Who cares? They played against Everton at home. They lost again. We don't have anyone Man United on the pod, so we can't really root them too much. So we'll just get through it. Obviously, as you guys saw, it was a weird game. I think within the first 10, 15 minutes, Everton have a man sent off for slapping his own player. And then from there, somehow Man United still lose. Kieran Dewsbury Hall with what looks like a screamer, but when you look at it back, goalkeeper should have done much better. I know that I sound like Ant when I say that, but really and truly, Lamans needs to be doing a much better job of that. And then that's basically the end of the game, right? So Everton go 1-0 up, and Man United can't seem to muster a single idea to try and get back in the game. After the game, I'm seeing all kinds of craziness, all kinds of started Xerxes up front. Everyone's talking about Zerkamp. Anthony mentioned the skill that he did to Saliba last week as well. So, all that. But yeah, overall, a terrible performance from Man United. And I'm now seeing people saying Amorim out again. So it's a really crazy world to live where, 3-4 weeks ago, they were talking about the man cutting his hair. They were talking about being back into the top 4 race, the Champions League race. And now they've been sat back down to earth with a humbling from Mr. Moisey getting his first ever win against Manchester United, which is just a disgraceful time for that to be happening. But what did you guys make of the game? I will start with you, Khem, because obviously your connection, Liverpool, Man United, hating them so much. There's been a lot said in the group chat recently. Negative goal difference for you guys. They've been getting back from a few of the comments that you've been making previously. I'm going to give you the floor, mate. What do you want to say about this Man United result, about this Man United team, this manager?
It's always good for either fan base when the other one is also in the mud. So while we're in hell, we can always sort of just grab them and bring them down with us as well. So I just want to know, you said they're saying Amorim out again, but when were they Amorim in? Like, that should have been, they've won 12 matches in 12 months. Like, ours is
that's a fair point.
Like, that's actually shocking.
The big switch up happened when Man United announced they were giving him loads of time. I can't remember who it was, but somebody from the Man United leadership came out and kind of said that we're giving him 3 years or whatever it was. And I think a lot of Man United fans they resigned themselves to the fact that Amorim was going to be there long term, and they had some pretty good results, so it wasn't too bad. But now I'm seeing people in the park, I'm seeing Man United fans beefing each other on YouTube, seeing some craziness. So Amorim out is well and truly back, my friend.
Well, that's the thing. Like, someone's gonna have to do another tank job again just to keep him safe. Like, we all have to keep doing it from time to time. Tag in the next man. Someone keep him safe. Like, Chelsea done it. We done it. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like our misery will have an end date because there's talent there on the pitch. It's just orchestrating it together. Whereas they don't have talent on the pitch or on the sideline. And the venue is a disgrace as well. Like, how is a 75,000 seat stadium not being picked for the Euros? Do you know what I mean? So they are in hell everywhere. The game itself was weird. Like, actually tuning in to see a man slap his own guy, slap his own teammate, and get a red card. We've not seen that in a while. I was also kind of jealous because it was nice to see players care, because I don't see that from the other side of the Merseyside or the other side of Stanley Park or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, they would have expected to win the game. They didn't even get a goal. A friend of mine went to the game, so I'm glad that he had a miserable time as well. I'm sure and Nash didn't enjoy it, which always brings me joy. And they're ducking yet again, which is really poor. We need to have maybe not a prediction league, but also a ducking after failing to win league, perhaps. I'm sure they'll be top 2, top 3. Yeah, Moisey getting... I forgot about that, actually. That would be nice for him after everything, because, he was one of the first ones on the conveyor belt to be to blame. And then it was the next manager, and then the next manager, and then the next manager, then the interim one, then the other one. So that must have felt good for him, that it's come full circle, like, over a decade now, where they're still absolutely dog shit post Fergie. So maybe they should have kept him and, got him fat like Busby and Fergie and see how it goes. Yeah, that's it. Really.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I mean, we are seeing both 10th and 11th in the league. So this is really a must-win game. This is like, a 6-pointer, as they say, for Man United, because at the end of the day, they might be fighting it out for that kind of last European spot, or just to stay in the top half of the table, right, and not have to scroll down to page 2. So it really was an important match for them, and obviously at home, coming off some decent results, some decent performances. And the only other thing you've got to mention is that their best player, their current best player, is going to be gone for a month in January. So Mbeumo is going to be gone. They're going to have to struggle without him. And from what I'm seeing so far, it's not looking good, Brev. So they need to be picking up points now, because once it comes January time, it's going to be a much harder struggle for them to get points. I mean, Razor, what did you make of the game? I mean, obviously, first of all, on the slap, I've seen a couple of people saying weird things, right? Some people are saying that Garner should have got sent off as well. And then some people are saying, but some people are then saying that neither of them should have been sent off and it should have just been a yellow card. What did you make of the overall game? that crazy incident that I don't think we've seen since like Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer started punching each other up with Newcastle.
No, I completely agree. I feel with the latter group of people, I feel like, considering it was against a teammate and considering that like Keane wasn't really like giving it back to him, it weren't like they were kicking off and it was boiling over. I think he could have given him a yellow card and told him to sit on the side, because like we're all aware of referees having, you know, this kind of weird, inconsistent and like energy towards like quote unquote ruining the game. I feel like that was a moment there, like the referee was given an opportunity. It was like, all right, cool. What he did was out of order, but he did it to someone on his team. Yeah, you know, like you kind of give him. I feel like you give him a yellow card. His manager probably takes him off relatively soon after that. Do you know what I'm saying? But fair play to Everton, because they didn't let it like end the game for them, and yeah, they went about it. And United looked all out of ideas, so it was kind of like, it was entertaining. I found it very funny to watch, obviously, but yeah, pitiful from a United perspective, really. Like, just it kind of works. And when you were saying that, like, they've gone through the cycle of emotions and they were kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to be back in this and doing that, it's kind of peak, because that's just the thing worked. But like the thing, as we've discussed many times with Amorim, like the thing's not going to change. So it worked today. If it doesn't work next week, you're pissed. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what they're seeing, and they're going to see a lot more misery before they see joy, just in terms of Amorim sticking around. And yeah, hold tight AFCON. Yeah, I think AFCON's actually going to be, United's probably going to be one of the biggest sort of clubs affected by it in a negative, in such a negative way. I don't actually think, if we count Tottenham, cool. But yeah, outside of that, I feel like United are probably going to be, as you said, the most affected by it, losing their informed man. So yeah, it's peak.
They lose Ahmad as well, right? So they're going to lose Ahmad, who's also one of their kind of I'm going to call him a game winner, even though he's not necessarily utilized as he should be. But there have been times where he's got game winners for them before. He's kind of one of the magic men in their team. They're going to lose both of those when it's time for AFCON to start. And I mean, you saw Dallo, right? I mean, you guys all saw Dallo and his recent performances. They don't exactly have a good right winger or right wing back or whatever, right back, to play in that position and to offer what Ahmad can. And I mean, Cunha looks all right and Mount looks all right, but at the end of the day, Mount's going to get injured in 5 minutes and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. And Cunha, he can be a bit kind of inconsistent in his performances. So they're going to really need to rely on somebody. And maybe this is an opportunity for Bruno to get back into the 10 and for Bobby to start. So it might help a little bit into the Man United fan base, because obviously they're all crying out for Kobe. But yeah, they're going to struggle, because I'm pretty sure Mbeumo is their goal so far this season, and it doesn't really look like they have somebody that can replace that so far in their team. So it's going to be a struggle. But I mean, I'm going to move to you, Rhys. One thing we've got to say is that Everton did manage to do something that you couldn't do, which is get a man sent off and then still beat Man United. So how did you take the game, mate? And I mean, on the subject of Amorim specifically, it kind of feels like they're all resigned to the fact that he's just going to be there forever now. But do you still see his job kind of under the microscope? Do you still feel that there's a chance that he gets sacked relatively soon? Do you think you're just going to have to suffer on and figure out this 3-5, 3-4, 2-1, whatever formation they're playing?
It's difficult, because if results keep getting worse, then I think they might be forced into a change. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think one thing's for certain is... Can you hear me? Oh, no.
Is it another hostage situation?
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're
I
cutting
can't
in and
hear
out
you.
a little bit.
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're going in and out, Rhys.
Yeah.
Someone say something.
All right,
Something.
Rhys,
Yeah, it's
we're
cutting out.
gonna come. We're
Uh,
gonna come back to you. In
Yeah, I
a
was just
moment.
saying, one thing's
go
for
on.
certain. Yeah. Yo,
Yeah, Rhys, keep going, mate. Keep going.
one sec.
You've come back now.
Make sure your title challenge doesn't fade like this connection, all right? You're our only hope. You're Luke Skywalker.
Oh, mate, this is abysmal. No, I was just basically saying that I don't think Man United will make a change. I think Amorim is changing up his formation anytime soon, and I think he will die on that three at the back. Because I think tactically, he could see he wasn't anything. I think Everton had a lot more cooler heads, and we just have bozos at the back, so it's a lot easier for them to. Yeah, they seemed a lot more up for it. But yeah, I think Amorim will still keep his job at least till the end of the season, and I think they'll reassess it because you have to look at who's available as well, unless the season slides off a cliff and they get in relegation like they did last year.
And I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. It's never really too far away with this Man United team, right? They seem to be able to go on very stinky runs and not be able to go on very, very good runs for a long time, right? So they get maybe a couple of wins, a couple of draws, but they go kind of straight back to losing again. So it doesn't really seem like they have the ability to sustain for a long time a good performance. I definitely think it's going to be tough for them. I mean, I'll open up to Razor and Khem. Do you think there's any chance? Because obviously, I mean, Khem, with your manager, chance I'd be the first one to go. But do you think there's still a chance that Amorim, gets sacked before him, or is it just a question of when as opposed to if with Mr. Baldman Slot?
My God, with a capital G, is strong, and he will protect us all by keeping Amorim. And I know that they will crash out. If we sack our manager before they sack him, they are going to actually riot, and that's perfect. If it means there's more misery in Manchester, then let it come out. However it may be, let it be miserable for them. So hopefully they keep Amorim as long as possible to stupidly prove a point by Sir Jim, and let the dark times remain, man. Like I hope that all the decent managers that are available go somewhere else, and then they're stuck with shit. Like that would bring me so much. As Aya would say, that brings me great joy.
And how about you, Razor? Do you think Amorim? Because I mean, some people are still blaming the players, right? I think it kind of shifts between it's the owner's fault, it's the players' fault, it's the manager's fault, it's all of their faults. Where do you think the kind of fan base is sitting at the moment? Do you think that Amorim is number one to blame? Do you think that they still think that their players are not good enough? Are they still trying to claim Glazers are the problem? Like, where do you think?
Amorim, I'm like all of the above, but Amorim has to hold it. Pause. Like he has to hold the blame. He has to be accountable. You can't look at like Ugarte and Casemiro and go, yeah, these guys need to start ahead of like Kobe Mainoo. That for me is mismanagement. That's misappropriation of resources. I'm Nigerian, believe me. I know it when I see it. And yeah, essentially, my man, he's not the only criminal at the club, but he's criminal in charge. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he needs to hold it. But do you know what's hilarious? I don't think we're gonna see the end of him or his time at the wheel for a minute. I also don't think we're gonna see the end of Slot. I think the majority of the big six are going to finish the season with the managers that they've got right now. I actually think if you're looking for which one of them is most likely to get the sack, yeah, you're in the wrong end of the country entirely. I think Brentford's old gaffer might be in trouble in N17, but that's a different conversation for a different day, not for the pod, because people don't want to hear about Tottenham. But yeah, honestly, I think Amarim's he's that youth that had a proper on it older brother or cousin, innit? He's on the playground, he's chatting was, he's picking on people, stealing people's stuff, but you can't really regulate on him because he's protected from above. That's what he is. He's not. I don't see him going anywhere. If anything, I see Manchester United normalizing this mediocrity, which, to quote Ayo, it brings me great joy.
No, I mean, I think maybe a similar feeling. I think with Man United, you tend to know when the end is very, very close, and it still does not feel like that. Like it is like that maybe over his tenure, more so at previous points. Since that kind of claim or statement from the upper management regarding him being given a chance, it kind of feels like that's all died off now, and Man United fans are almost reserved to the fact that they're going to have to stick with him for a while, and so they're trying to look at where else they can blame. And it seems that they're mainly blaming players on the pitch or referees or whatever else they can blame without it being the manager. But it'll be interesting to see because they've got, it's not as if they've got like easy fixtures coming up. I mean, we'll talk a little bit later on about the preview for next week. They've got Crystal Palace away. And I know maybe the Crystal Palace PR has kind of died down a little bit the last couple of weeks. But they're definitely not an easy team to play, right? And I think when you've got Mateta in form, when you've got Adam Wharton playing like he's playing, when you've scoring all kinds of crazy goals, that's going to be a damn hard game for them to win. But at the same time, Man United are such a mixed bag that they could go there and win it. I've seen them do crazy things before. So it's one of those where I think Man United fans are just going to have to hold on. They're going to have to get their anger out in whichever ways they can. But they're just going to have to hold on for a while and kind of see what happens because it doesn't really seem like there's going to be much movement in terms of the management ownership or anything else like that. They're just going to have to deal with it. And I can't see them coming out in January and spending a bunch more money because where's that money come from? They're getting like 15 Saudi Arabian friendlies between now and January. I'm not sure where they're getting that P from. So it's going to be an interesting watch. It's kind of like a car crash you can't take your eyes off of. And yeah, it does bring a lot of rival fans great joy. But we are going to now move because at the end of the day, Man United did not play in Europe. And no one really cares as much anymore. So we're going to move on to what I'm considered to be the main event or one of the main events, the co-headliner for this episode, which is the man in the bottom right. Come to the my friend. HMRC has some words to have with you. Liverpool coming off the back of two stinky results. We're going to start with the one in chronological order that happened first. Liverpool at home at Anfield. Khem in attendance. He's right there to view it with his eyes. Coming up against Nottingham Forest, who have been an absolute bag of weirdness all throughout this season. They lose 0. A terrible performance all round. I think a lot of Liverpool fans will agree that it was not at all a vintage performance from their team. I think in general, you'd say that they weren't good for it at all. They didn't really deserve to win. Yes, they had quite a lot of possession. They had a decently high XG, but generally speaking, Forest were all over him for the majority of the game. And the 3-0 that they ended up coming away with was probably fair for actually happening in the match. So just to recap a little bit, obviously Murillo gets the first goal in the first half off a set piece, I believe. And you Savonas coming in with a goal with an assist from Nico Williams, and then it's ended with Morgan Gibbs-White, who has been in the season and just probably for the last 6 to 8 months of Premier League football has been really bad, and he comes in with the third goal. Nothing you guys can really do about it. You make a lot of changes. You bring on Chiesa, you bring on Ekitike, you bring on Robertson, you even bring on the young from Chelsea, Rio. But nothing really changes, and you end up leaving with a with another L on the record, and you are now in negative goal difference within the Premier League, which is definitely a sight to see. So we will start with not you, Khem. We start with everybody else because I'd like to get the digs in first, and then you may respond to them. So I'm going to go to you, Rhys. Hopefully your connection's a little better now. It's looking like you might be the only title challenger out of the teams that to give Arsenal a run for their money at the moment. What do you want to say about this Liverpool team and the stinky performance that they put in at Anfield against Nottingham Forest, mate?
Disclaimer: top 4 challenges. I think. Problems are defensively. I think they've been shocking. I think of all them signings, it really hurt them not securing Mark Gahey. I think Konate, I think his mind's elsewhere. You can see he doesn't want to play. Van Dijk, that handball, that looked, best in the league. It's a bit mad right now. Sorry, I was referring to the handball in the PSV game, but needs to come up with an answer quickly. Otherwise, I think it will. I think he will be in trouble in terms of his future. But I also think the players need to take responsibility as well, because where has Salah been? He's been carried on my fantasy team, securing no points at all. I just think as much as bad as it is for Arne Slot, I do think the players need to take some responsibility. I think Van Dijk needs to step up and show a bit more leadership in terms of the organisation of that defence. Salah's offering absolutely nothing, and this whole thing about tracking back, maybe he does need to, but I do think they do need to hit the drawing board and fast. And I don't think it's going to involve. I don't think it's more tactically on the field rather than going into the transfer market, unless they can pick up another defender. But that's kind of my take on Liverpool at the minute.
Yeah, and I mean, you alluded to the result, which we'll get into. No, we did hear you, mate. You're back with us. It's beautiful to see. But we will get into the second result. Obviously, PSV go there. They go to Anfield as well, and they pump them as well. You know, you get an early penalty given away with Van Dijk doing his best impression of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, trying to dunk the ball into the back of the net at the wrong end. He's out here like Shaq in his prime, trying to put blocks up when he should be really looking at defending and doing his job. Penalties given away. Keeper's got no chance. Lovely to see Perisic getting a nice little dig in against Liverpool. And then you managed to get a nice little equaliser. Szoboszlai, probably your best player this season, manages to get that equaliser. But then from there, it's just downhill. And honestly, shocking. I mean, one of the biggest things that you've got to say about it is when you're 3-1 down, shop. Don't let goals in. Don't let more goals in. But no, they just kept on coming. Till gets the second goal to make it 2-1 for PSV. And then I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name, but Driech gets 2. There's one in the 73rd minute, and then another one right at the end in the 91st minute. Liverpool leave Anfield again with another loss, again by 3 goals. This time actually managing to get on the score sheet, but you've conceded 7 goals in 2 games against 2 pretty ropey teams. I mean, I must remind everybody that we slapped them 7-1 last season, and now they're coming to Anfield, you know, one of the greatest stadiums, one of the greatest football clubs in the world, and slapping the team up like it's no one this. So I'm gonna stick to my general rule. Khem, you're not going to be allowed to speak until the very end, mate. Razor, 2 defeats in a row. They can't seem to buy a win. Slots on the touchline. He seems to be growing out his beard. So he's looking like a recently divorced man, soon divorced man. He's growing out his beard a little bit, looking like he can't pick up a razor. He's looking real stressed. Doesn't know what's going on. Players that they're not playing from anymore. What did you make of these 2 results? I mean, what, in the space of 5 days they've been slapped twice at Anfield.
First of all, you okay, Khem? Is everything all right? Is it all right? I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's beautiful to see. It's wonderful. It's amazing. Oh, inject it. Okay, sorry. Analysis. To be honest, Rhys was talking about how they've been woeful defensively, and that is very true. I think like one of the things about Liverpool, and the way in which they've been losing games when they have been losing games has been particularly like shocking and disappointing. If you like them, I guess, disappointing is like they're not showing any kind of resolve. I think like echoing Rhys's sentiments in terms of like Van Dijk needing to step up. Kanate is on. He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something. It's really strange, but also like going forward, they've lacked that Liverpool edge. Like when you look at like the Nottingham Forest game, like it's not like they did not get involved in the game. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like they didn't have opportunities. It's not like they didn't have possession. They didn't have XG. They didn't have shots. They actually just failed to convert any chances, which is really, really poor for the defending champions of the league, and just put the transfer record anyway, you know, the context, all of that. In terms of PSV, like, I think it's difficult when you're playing away. Like, I think, you know, like we were mocking Chelsea about Karabag not too long ago. I think it's different when you're playing away in some of these places in European football, maybe like a Serbia, you know what I mean? Like these kind of places, you go somewhere, Azerbaijan, where they're not getting into these tournaments very often. There can be a lot of passion. It can be an experience. Your players are tired. And you were playing at Yard, bruv. You were at home. You were at home playing your game with your controller, and you got whooped by your little cousin's brethren. That is disgraceful behavior. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's shameful. And I saw someone refer to on the site formerly known as Twitter. They said that Anfield is a brothel these days. And I agree. Except it's more of like I'm not going to say her name, but the mattress actress whose initials are both B, because people aren't paying. They're just turning up, getting in the queue, and again, for the second time on the show, I'd like to say it brings me great joy. Great joy. But yeah, Salah going AFCON might be the best thing to happen to Liverpool. Because it allows them to rotate. And if Slot keeps his job that long, that might be his eureka moment. That's my wild card prediction, isn't it? But yeah, woeful.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I'm going to save them is
the only way he's going to be able to drop Salah because he ain't got the balls.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is fair. But I mean, I was going to say the only way that AFCON's going to save them is if they magically find out that Milos Kerkez is a Nigerian, and then he goes and plays in AFCON somehow. And then if they find out that Isak is also now going to change his allegiances and go and play in AFCON, that's where they can save at this point. They need to suddenly find out that many of their players are African and they all get shifted out, because the only way they're going to get better performances out of a team these days is if they put all of their kids out at this point. So it's looking real spooky. And I do want to call out a few performances, but I'm going to Khem speak just briefly here about his team's performances, about his manager, about everything that's going on, about his record signings. I mean, game against Nottingham Forest, but didn't start again. Then against PSV, didn't start again. So what are we doing here, Khem, man? What's going on? You're going back to the team from last season, and yet you're still not really getting any wins. Can you make sense for the audience, mate?
The performance wasn't good at all. But what's even more shocking is the fact that England lost by 8 wickets. Like, it was just so bizarre for it to be over in like 2 days. I know it's day one of the Ashes, but You can't have all that preparation 2 years in and then sorry, got distracted now. Let me focus up. The big shock for me is that the way it's looking right now.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
OKC are going to get another pick off the Clippers. That Sam Presti's done it again. First of all, do your research. Wirtz was injured, okay? He couldn't play because he physically wasn't capable of playing.
Oh, injured. That's what they call it now when your star boy can't turn up for a match anymore. Okay, interesting. Keep going.
Yeah, just as injured as Gabriel, mate. With quotation marks, if you want to do that.
And we won without him. How does
on international duty.
Keep going.
Cool. Keep going all the way until May. Just make sure you come back with something.
Talk about your team, my friend.
The team are dog shit. They're dog shit. There's not much to say really with them. Like, it's as you were before. That's why I was shocked when you guys kept asking me about the title race. I think Rhys had some sense, and Anthony on the following podcast, the one he didn't duck, where they were like, "We ain't in the title race." I don't know why you guys. I keep saying, just stop shaking. Like, we suck. But the wildest thing is definitely I was at that Forest game and I crashed out and I was like, I was done, because it got to a point where you can clearly see they've given up, because they dominated the first bit of the game and then conceded a goal by stupid mistake by a con artist, which leads to another set piece goal conceded. I don't know how the set piece coach is still there. I think he came in this summer. I don't know why he's not on LinkedIn again. That brother needs to go. He's not doing anything. And then you've got the players obviously not tracking back, they're not running. We saw Cody Gakpo pull out of a 50-50. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're losing a game, you know what it's like in the stadium, especially Ray. You got to give the fans something, man. Sometimes it's not going well. At least, it doesn't require a tactic ball to go out there, run, chase someone down, put in a tackle, win your headers, those kind of things. Just the bare minimum. So it was shit from
Cody Gakpo,
from those guys as well. So that's just one example. You can't be putting out of a 50-50. Like, it's one where you got to go for it, man. Like, you can't be pussying out of it. Same with like Salah not running back. You've got Van Dijk struggling to win his battles. Simple. It's just, you just have to go direct down the Liverpool sort of right hand side. And where I'm done with the manager is like, you have, and then the PSV game was just basically just like rinse and repeat of the game before that. And to be honest, our goal was trash anyway. It was a crap save from the keeper that just fell to Szoboszlai to it was a first time shot down the middle of the goal. Like, it wasn't a great goal by us. So they absolutely slapped us up in that match. Like, every time they break, it looked like they were going to score. And it's crazy to have a Dutch team coming up and battering a Dutch coach as well. So it's not a good look on all counts. But what's weird is like the build up is just no good. Like, so you knew you were going to lose the sort of playmaker at right back. So you bring in a playmaker in as a 10, and then you don't stick with it. Like, the early games, we were letting in goals, but we were creating a lot of chances and scoring a lot. And then you've gone away from that, where we're not even creating chances no more. So you're not good anywhere. I think I said this before. We're not good in any facet on the pitch. Like, defensively, we're not robust. Midfield, we're getting played through easily. There's no energy there. There's no control there either. So it's like, are we a sit back and counter team? Are we a possession team? What are we playing down the wings? Are we playing through the middle? Are we going direct? It's too much inconsistency, and that's just the clear signs of a manager that is lost. And I was going to say, he beat me to it. He's not even shaving. So that just says it all. So you might as well just just pull the cord, man. Like, just let him go. Like, you know what I mean? Just it's so done. Like, and it's not to say he can't regroup and come back as a manager somewhere else, because he did show tactical nous, but I think it's just too much for him in this one go, because a team has been created for him to sort of build in his ideas and his style a little bit more, and he's just not done that. He's sort of panicked and probably listened to idiots on Twitter and CBS and Sky and all this shit. It's like, mate, there's always going to be outside noise. You have to stick to your plan regardless, and it keeps changing. Also, not spotting.
You must slot out, and yes,
yeah, he's not gonna turn this around. There's this when you're seeing players not even running, not even winning their duels. That shows, like, I'm not saying maybe all the players have down tools, but it's a clear sign that majority of them have definitely tapped out or not listening to his ideas anymore, because it's just the same stuff every single match. It's struggling at a set piece, like the Forest goal, scrappy one from a set piece. The PSV first goal was from a penalty. Sorry, from a corner again, which led to the penalty. Like, it's just every single time there's a corner or a potential long throw, it feels like, fucking hell, let me go down and get another beer in the concourse because we're gonna concede here. So it's just gonna require fresh energy, because then there's probably a lot of players with a bit of an ego. You know, the ones that were there last year. You know, they've won a league. It was a lot of them. Maybe it's only their second season there. Some of them their third season. Some of them their first. It's like a lot of them had an ego. Probably, you know, they're feeling themselves. They're loving life. But when you have a new manager come in and he doesn't care, he doesn't have any prior experience with these guys. He doesn't have any history with them. So they're all at risk of their position in the team, and that's where you have to show some effort again. So yeah, it's a shame, because Slot has been a good manager. I think as a manager, he's held it down and done well. Like, he came in, he had 3 senior players out of contract. I think he dealt with that really well last season. Obviously, players come and go. That's normal for managers. What's not normal for managers is obviously what happened in the summer, and having to deal with that literally as pre-season begins as well. I think as a person for the football club, he held it down really well in that scenario. But in terms of the coaching, he's struggling right now. He's struggling bad, and yeah, like, it's not like
it's not like talking a lot about Slot, right? So we're talking a lot about Slot, and I agree with you. Obviously, a manager makes a massive difference to players, but I do want to hold you accountable, or hold your players accountable, because I understand. I mean, like, down tools in these last couple of games, at least it's looked like a couple of them have. But I mean, your bad form didn't just start in these last couple of games. It started.
It's been months, though. That's the thing, John. It's been majority of 2025. Like, since that match against, let's say, United or Palace, the one where we lost at Selhurst Park, or
I was about to say, which one?
Or exactly, or even the I wouldn't say the majority of the Forest match, but like games where it's a bit more even, where teams are Brentford, Palace, United, those fixtures in particular, they all resemble the cup final against Newcastle. The same stuff that we couldn't deal with: set pieces, long balls, all that shit. Like, so at that point, teams had figured out direct the passage of play away from, obviously, Trent. He was injured in that match. Keep it away from Virgil, because he's actually good from out from the back. Keep it to Kanate, who's got, like, he looks like fucking Sacco at times, like a damn newborn baby deer or something that's learning how to walk, looking all stupid. Like, keep it there. Block the passing lane to Gravenberg, and then you've got us, because you have to go long. And last season we didn't have height, but we were clear anyway, so it didn't matter at the time. No one noticed it. But this season, yeah, you can go direct, but Ekitike and Isak aren't really the kind of guys to sort of try and battle and win aerial duels, are they? They're more like touch it into feet and play it into space kind of guys. So that's something that they looked at and thought, okay, let's reprofile the team, especially because the outlet was Trent to pass between the lines. He's gone. So you bring in all these new players. So you've had a long time to build a system to create chances, to dominate possession, to control the game. And he's not done that. And I'm seeing weird shit like, and everyone keeps talking about it, like when you know how all these teams now do this, like more of like a 3-man build up, and you see it a lot with like your left back, Calafiori, he's always roaming and shit. But we're doing weird stuff like Kirkes is playing as a midfield, like as one of the 3 centre backs, and he's tucking in to create like a 1v1 on the left hand side for a guy who you know is just gonna juke, cut inside to shoot or give the ball away or chip it out for a fucking throw in on repeat. Like the wannabe, I don't know what he is, the wannabe Robin. He's like a team.
I think
Hazard.
all of that is fair, right?
So that's the system. That's because Kirkes isn't running on the channels like we used to. He's been in the Prem before and he had a good year. It's not like he's coming from another league like some of the other guys. Okay, he's been here before and he's not even given a chance to look like himself. So that's where I think if you're a player and you don't stick to what the manager's telling you to do, you're going to get benched, or you're going to get cussed out, or not. And you know how he is. This guy, if he doesn't trust anyone, he's not going to play him. We saw it last season.
Yeah,
right. He didn't rotate the team, and he blamed tiredness late on because he didn't rotate the team much. So they bought him boys. Like, you can't say he's not being backed. Okay, he was given the second highest goal scorer from last season, and one of the up and coming, promising freaking attacking midfielders in the league. You replaced the right back, you replaced an aging left back, yada yada yada, and another striker. So he's been given talent.
That is fair.
It's up to him to utilize.
So Khem, I want to hold you to one thing though, right? Which is, I agree, you're definitely not in this. That is most certainly true, and that is because of the system, and that is because of a lot of the new players that you're bedding in. But at the same time, your spine is relatively similar, right? You have Gravenberch from last year, who was one of the best midfielders in the league. You have McAllister from last year, who was one of the best in the league. You have Szoboszlai, as much as we diss him, he works hard. He's been arguably the best player this season. You've got Salah, who is, as much as I disagree with it and whatever else, he go down as one of the Premier League greats. You've got Virgil van Dijk, you've got Alisson. And the problem is that we're seeing from all of them as well a lot of mistakes, right? I mean, we'll talk about the PSV, the handball for Virgil. We'll talk about Salah. Doesn't appear to be doing anything off the ball, but nothing on the ball now and wasting big chances. I'm not going to say anything about Alisson because he still looked good, but he's just obviously injury prone and it hurts sometimes to have to keep coming in and out of the team. But you've got a lot of the same players. All of them, except for Szoboszlai, look terrible as well. So is there not more accountability to be given to the players? Because Virgil van Dijk, he made a big thing of calling out Wayne Rooney, and about Wayne Rooney kind of questioning his belief or, whether he's phoning it in anymore. Like, you gave these guys new contracts and they're not repaying the currency that you've given them, right? Virgil van Dijk, I know Konate's looked awful, but Virgil van Dijk certainly has not been set in the world of light. And Salah, has he scored more than 2 goals this season? I'm not even sure. So is there not more to be said for that spine of your team, which is basically this Premier League winning players from last season that are also putting in horrible performances?
Well, when I watch them play, like, I don't actually know what the patterns of play are meant to be now from these midfielders. So yeah, it's true, they need to step up and be more. McAllister's only just about started to look fit because for the first 2.5 months, he looked like he was on the verge of retiring. He looked like a broken person. He's still getting out, run, and can't jog back and shit like that. I don't know what's going on with Gravenberch because it doesn't seem like he's sitting. Whenever we play it out to the wide players, too many, it's like everyone's like bombing forward. I don't know what the idea behind it is. If we're happy to take those risks and get as many players forward as we can, I don't know what the design is for that. But if you're going to bring in a 10, you probably do need a specialist DM. And they obviously were looking for one. They tried Caicedo, they tried Zubimendi, they went to both of your fucking clubs, obviously. But they were obviously looking at that. And Gravenberch was very good last year, but it was a makeshift position. He's not as strong as a Caicedo. I wouldn't say he plays between the lines as well as a Zubimendi. He's like an in-between. He was originally an 8. So he even needs some support and someone has to sit with him. But then what does that mean going forward? And also, most of the season he's been playing, like you said, Sabozza's been our best player, right? But he's been playing that fucking right back most of the season. Like, as soon as I saw that lineup against PSV, I was like, yeah, we're toast. He might as well just fire him. And the same with the Forest game. It's either like a mixture of him and Jones playing at right back. Like, what the fuck's going on? Just put in freaking Gomez or that Ramsey. Like, he's fit and ready to go, and he can actually play between the lines. You might as well give the younger player a chance. Like, he's weird when he doesn't trust people. Even Chiesa has actually played well when he's come on. He's got himself fit, and he still hates him and doesn't give this guy a chance. You're mentioning rotating Salah out for once. That could be Chiesa, but he's still not doing it. You guys want to get onto me with Gakpo, but his competition is a 17-year-old recently turned. That's why he can afford to play selfish and do whatever. He's got his new contract, and he's Dutch. He's not going to get kicked out of the fucking team. But when you actually had a baller on that left-hand side, he was a rotation player. So that's where I'm putting on the manager, because he keeps playing his favourites even when they're out of form, and he's not willing to.
Yeah, but what about Virgil and Salah?
Well, you're not going to drop Virgil, and his form hasn't been.
So bad?
Well, he's not in that position. Obviously, what is he now? He's like 30, 34, 35. He's not able to make up for the players around him like he was able to. He probably needs more help than what he's had before in the past. He actually needs support, as all defenders will need. You can't constantly have the midfield doing fuck all and the other team just playing through the lines and getting through to you, because eventually you're going to concede. Now he's starting to make dumb errors as well. And it's not even a handball. That was a bit wild. But there was a moment where he got booked, where it was on the right channel, and he just slid. He just dived in for a challenge that you knew he wasn't going to win, and he just accepted yellow. And I thought he never does that. He always usually, as you like to joke about saying twerking or whatever, but he usually jockeys and stays in position and watches it before he can either make a last-ditch tackle or lets cover come back over to support. He just dived in and just took the yellow. Like, it's almost like he just lashed out. Like, I don't know if he's tapped out, because maybe the guy is Dutch. I have no idea. But I reckon a lot of the senior players just don't fuck with his ideas. Because if you've had a way of playing that's worked, and then suddenly you want to change it for some new boys that have come in, and it's not working, you're not going to rate the guy, are you? I don't know. Maybe they clash with things. Maybe you want Salah more involved. I don't know. But the way things are designed, it's more to be out on the left-hand side or whatever, and alienating who's been our best player for the last 8 years. So certain people are going to think, well, what's going on for this? Like, we're the reason you have a league title, and now suddenly you're starting to like make the team built around freaking people like Gakpo, people like
But I mean, in the same breath, you just said that they are like they're 34, 35, right? They get on. Surely Van Dijk understands that he's not going to be there forever. Surely also Mo Salah understands he can't be there forever, and there's going to need to be some sort of transition. Let's be honest. If this were Pep, those guys would have just disappeared. They would have gone somewhere else. They wouldn't have got a new contract. It would have been all over for them. And
this time last year, you wouldn't have been saying this time last year. You wouldn't have been saying that, though. No one would have been saying let them walk.
No, we all would have been saying you can't build your team around a 34-year-old, right? Like, for the future, you've surely got to look for what comes next, which is why I think the big debate was around, do you give them a new contract or not, right? So surely they must understand we ain't going to be here forever, and Liverpool has to live on. You know, everyone talks about Liverpool as, you know, the team is bigger than the players. Surely they've got to understand that at some point they're going to come out the team. They're not going to get played all the time, and they're going to need to start building around some other players. And in that case, they themselves might be asking some things that they aren't comfortable with, right? Like Salah might have to track back a little bit because Frimpong ain't going to, and Connor Brad's injured, and Curtis Jones is not a right back. Like, surely the old guard should know, like, this is what's going to happen, and I'm going to have to maybe do something a little different. Otherwise, why did I sign that contract?
Yeah, but he also does wild things like I said, playing their favourites. Like, you guys have commented on it before with someone like Hugo Ekitike, who was in form, and he'll just get benched to let my man come in and build up his fitness. I know it's a difficult one because you can't have a £125 million player sitting on the bench. We get that. But on the flip side, if you keep telling us now, almost December, that he's still not fully fit, he's going to have to just, I don't know, it's up to him. He's an athlete, man. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we've seen other sports, they have a lockout season. They don't come back looking like fucking Isak, do they? They're straight on it from day one, man. I don't want to hear that now. Like, he's a grown man, okay? Get on with it, bro. Like, I don't know what this shit is about. You needed 3 months to build up your fitness and preseason, all this shit. It's bollocks, right? It's actually bollocks. It's no different to the players coming back after the World Cup when they have like 2 weeks holiday and they're straight back into the season. What is this? I'm not hearing it. So people can be in form and balling out, and then they won't get a run of games to even. So he's struggling to build up, like, the players have their familiarity with each other and have patterns and like get to know each other and build a new way of playing. But how can you do that if you keep rotating the guys? You keep panicking when you go a goal down and subbing a defender, putting Gravenberch at centre back and chucking Szoboszlai at right back. You can't build any rhythm with your teammates, new and old, when you keep changing things mid-game and game to game. You try Wirtz on the left. You tried Frimpong. You bench Salah and you play Frimpong right wing against Galatasaray. Shit like that. Like, he keeps changing. He's tried Isak and Ekitike up front. I think in the second half of a game, a couple of times he's done it. It's like hits the panic button every single match and does some fuck shit. And then he'll try Chiesa in the 85th minute.
That is fair. No, that is fair. And big up Roy Marsh in the chat saying Isak's agent is loving life, because he most certainly is. And I think Virgil, Star, anybody that you just gave them big contract to, is probably their agent is probably loving life at the moment as well. But let's bring in Ray and Rhys here. You've just heard what Khem's got to say. I think, to be fair to you, Khem, I think you are placing the blame a little bit around, but it's mostly for the manager at this point. I mean, Rhys, like, on my point about the players, do you think there's more blame to be had, especially for that core spine of those players like Virgil and Salah and Alisson and Gravenberch, etc., who have just come off the back of winning a title? They're relatively settled into the team. Do you think there's more to be said for them needing to pull their finger out and do a bit better?
Most definitely. You can see they've lost something about them that they had last season that was very dominant, and I don't know if they need to sit down, go to therapy. I don't know, maybe it was one of them Space Jam things where they lost their talent, but whatever they had last season, they've lost it. And I think as much as you can blame Slot, which I think is very reactionary, I think you do need to look at the players as well, because they're not giving you the thing is, the players aren't giving you what they gave last season, but also you're trying to embed these new players that are coming into the Liverpool environment and trying to make their way in the team. So it's a bit difficult. And then also, you can attribute to obviously what happened in the summer, maybe because, like obviously with grief and stuff, you don't know how players are feeling. But whatever it is, they've definitely lost something. And I think they're going to have to dig deep to find it, because there's still a long season to go. And it could get very dark for Liverpool, especially if they go to West Ham and stink out the place. I think more questions will be asked there.
And I mean, on that, Rhys, would you say that Virgil, Salah, all of those guys are like the lead in the dressing room? Do you think that's fair to say?
Say that again, sorry.
Do you think players like Virgil, Alisson, Mo Salah, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, do you think they are leaders in that dressing room? Do you think that they are the ones that are dictating to the new guys, here's what you got to do, here's how Liverpool play, what is expected of you from the fans? Do you think that they play a big part in that? Because I guess my point here is, a manager is a manager, right? But like, if you look at Sir Alex, right? He had players like Roy Keane, he had players like Gary Neville, he had players like Van der Sar, he had all these different players that, of course, he leaned on heavily, and it's heavily publicized after the fact, right? When Roy Keane comes out and talks about him having to put his arm around, but also give a bollocking to players. Do you not think that players like Virgil have more of a responsibility themselves to be getting these other players to buck up their ideas and to do what needs to be done?
Yeah, I think so. I think it does seem like there's a bit of a leadership void right now. Which is weird, because they've got like 3 or 4 national team captains in the mix, so of their team. So you would think that they're used to this sort of territory of new players coming in, embedding new players, and working towards the manager's goal. So I definitely think there's players need to step up both on the pitch and off the pitch, it seems, because they do look a shadow of their former self. And yeah, it's like you said, you can go to Anfield and get goals and get quite a few and come away with a win. And it can't be like that for the champions. Like they're turning out to have a worse title defense than Leicester or Chelsea. It could be. So it could get dark. And it's up to these, as much as it's up to Slot, it's up to these lot as well to kind of say, look, like, we need to take some responsibility. It's not just on the manager. Obviously, the manager will be the first one to get the boot, but we need to look at ourselves as well. So we'll just have to see if they can do that, though. But I don't see why not, because like I said, there's like 3 or 4 leaders in there from the jump that I could name that like are supposed to be doing this stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these big time players, and I guess maybe I'm being too hard to think that they need to turn everything around. But at the same time, these are players on. I mean, I don't even know what Virgil and Mo Salah's contracts look like these days, but I'm imagining it's 100k a week, at least when you add in all bonuses and stuff like that. So these are big time players. These are players that are well respected on the world stage. They've been in that team for a long time. They've seen Klopp, they've seen Slot, they've seen Premier League titles, they've seen Champions League titles. So it's just maybe I'm expecting to see a little bit more from him, particularly when I see Virgil kind of throwing his hands up or shouting at players around him. You know, it doesn't really feel like it's being done in the same way that Roy Keane won it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Roy Keane was the perfect player, but it definitely feels a bit more like he's placing blame on others as opposed to kind of trying to uplift them in some sort of fashion. But I mean, getting back to Khem's point about Slot, right? It seems pretty clear that he is Slot out, and he is Slot out right now.
Is this the same?
That man needs to go right now, right?
Is this the same Roy Keane that walked out on his country in the World Cup, by the way, that we're screaming the wonderful leader? The one that when we were kids, we saw him walking his fucking dog. It's not like Ireland make World Cups every time. Yeah, what a leader he is. Yeah, cool. I'm sick of hearing him being a great leader.
No. Okay, that's fair enough. But I can say Patrick Vieira. I can say, Rodri for Man City. I can say Vince Kompany for Man City. There's always been plenty of players who are, pulling their team up by their socks to really get them to play. So anyway, I mean, Ray, I want to bring you in on this one, right? So if Slot to go right now, do you think that really solves the problem? Do you think that there is something salvageable from Liverpool's season this year? They get Slot right now, and who do you think they could potentially get in that would lead to that change?
Sorry. As I said before, I don't think Slot's going anywhere fast. I don't know who they could get in because it's looking a bit techie across management, across the board.
I've heard Xabi Alonso's name mentioned a couple of times. I've heard Steven Gerrard as their caretaker come in while Xabi gets sacked from Florentino Perez in Madrid because he's ruffling some feathers.
Yeah, but do you want Xabi? They wanted Xabi Alonso after he went invincible with Leverkusen, didn't they? You don't want him,
mate.
You don't want him after he's gone to.
Wait, you leave Fabregas alone.
You don't want him after he's gone to Spain and stunk.
You mean Chelsea legend Fabregas? Sorry.
I hate that you are like that Rhys join into this conversation about leaving Fabregas alone. I hate that. But anyway, Ray, keep going, mate. What do you think they can do? What do you think they can salvage out this in there? If you are right in that slot, it's not going to leave.
I think the bold Dutchman's an easy target. Because I don't know who you're going to get in, but I can probably think of maybe like 2 or 3 managers in world football that you could get in that is going to tell your DOF, that are going to tell your board, yeah, fuck you. See that 250 mil or whatever you spent in the summer? I don't care. I'm not playing them, man, until they show me that. So they're going to be under the same pressure that Slot's under to make the Verts, Isak, Ekitike, jigsaw puzzle work. Do you know what I'm saying? They're going to be under the same pressure. And at the moment, it's clearly not working. So yeah, maybe if you're somebody who's going in there knowing I've got an idea on how I can make this work. Cool, fine. It's a pretty big gamble. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're not can you think of a football club that's going to let like 340 mils worth of players just not play because they're not performing well together? It's just like, boy, you better make that work. That's what the manager's getting told, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, we can mock him about not having the balls to bench this guy or being too stubborn with this and this, that, and the other. Like, he was, yeah, he's in a position where he's got to make it work with those players. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if any other manager is going to come in, especially mid-season, and make it work. That's not what it's looking like right now.
So how do you use this full season? If you own Liverpool, if you're FSG right now, and you're saying, okay, they don't want to get rid of Slot, how do you save the season with him there or him not there? Like, what do you need to do? Do you need to drop 200 million in the January transfer window? What are you doing to turn around this team?
You're tanking. You're tanking for Champions League or something. Like, you're tanking, and you're telling him, like, listen, we better win 2 trophies. Which ones they are, that's your problem, innit? Like, you're tanking. Like, I don't think you can give up on the Slot project. And I said it on the pod, not last pod, but last time I was on the pod, which is that the man just rolled in and treated the Premier League like a doormat, and it, like, on paper, he just walked in and won it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna buy you good credit with your employer. Like, Liverpool, like, we're as Khem said, I hate agreeing with him, but as Khem said, there is talent there. It's very different from some of the other Big Six situations, in the sense that they have an ethos, they have an identity, they have what they're building there. Right now, it's not working. Eventually, when you've got that much talent there, they will figure something else. I don't think we're going to reach the end of the season and be looking at Liverpool in like a 15th, 16th kind of situation. They're too good. Like, they have players that are too above that level. Do you know what I'm saying? We're having a lot of fun now and we're getting carried away, but like, there's a lot of time left before the end of game week 38. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I'm not making excuses for the players, but it's the players' faults. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's okay, because they will come good. And if they get rid of Slot while we're waiting for them to come good, we're still going to be waiting for them to come good. And then you've got a new guy who's going to have a good idea. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Also, pause.
I think that I'm from my point of view, and big up Roy Marsh in the chat, I think he's put in a lot of good points. Right? I think this one obviously says he can figure out Liverpool signings taking a while to settle in, but Isak has no excuses, right? He's got to start knocking in goals, otherwise those fans are going to turn against him if they haven't already. And this is a point to make, which is, I really think that the problem started with the signings. So that they're big, great names, and you'd love to have all of them, right? Of course, many of us would love to have a lot of those names at the beginning of the season, right? Forgetting the last however many in the league, whatever else now stinky they've looked. They've all been players where we've all looked at them and said, yeah, I'd love to have them at our club. I think Roy even said a great point, which was Arsenal was screaming for Isak, right? We were screaming for Isak at the start. We've been screaming about him for years now. We ended up with Gyökeres. And, you know, look where we are now. So I think that's really where
to fund it. Look at me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely said something like that too. I was mean about Trossard's new contract, even though he did not get any extension of years, which makes no sense to me still. But I think generally that's where the problem started, right? There are a bunch of players. I think if they had bought maybe 3 out of 4 of those players in one window, it could have worked, right? They could have bedded them in. They could have tried to change the style, to change everything at once. But really, I think they've handicapped themselves by buying. I mean, maybe Kirkes is the weirdest one. Kirkes really should be able to do what Robertson did, right? He played in the Premier League. He looked good. They're not too different in what they're asking him to do. It's not as if they're asking him to become Trent, right? So it shouldn't really be that hard for him. So that one, I think, could have worked in another life. Frimpong, I don't know if that was ever going to work. That was going to be one of the big ones in terms of the style change. That was always going to be a really hard one to overcome when you look at the way that Trent plays versus the way that Frimpong plays. That's just a weird one. I think it was always going to be a tough one anyway. I think they probably should have looked for somebody who is more of like a, like a Timber type, somebody who is more of like a centre-back, right back hybrid, try and set up in a slightly different way. But to go for two kind of bombing forward wing backs is a weird one to try to do based off of the style that they had last season. But then look at Ekitike and Isak. You should have just bought one of them. You really did not need to buy both of them. One of them would have sufficed. And at this point in time, it looks like TK probably would have been the smarter one to buy out of the two of them based on the fact that he was cheaper and he so far looked better in a Liverpool shirt than Isak has.
We needed two strikers.
And then, that's fair, but you didn't have to go and buy two like first team strikers, did you? You could have bought like a younger player than Isak.
He is
TK,
younger
you
than
didn't need to spend 90 million. No, I know, but you know what I'm talking about. Don't play dumb. I'm talking about a young striker, someone that's not built up to some big man that's going to start in the first team, right? You went and bought Ekitike, who was very clearly wanting to play first team football. It didn't seem like he was aware of the fact that you were also going to go Isak after that. You've now essentially got two strikers. Well, anyway, you've got two strikers that want to play first team football. They're both going to be vying each other for a spot in the first team. Neither of them is a left winger. And you've now lost Luis Diaz, who is arguably one of your most effective players last season and who's cooking for Bayern. No, that's fair, but he wanted to leave because you weren't prioritising him. So anyway, getting back to my point, you should have got a winger. We can argue all day long about all these different things, but you should have got a left winger.
I agree with that.
Then the last thing is you should have bought a centre back. Right? You've had injury problems before. You know he's kind of been swayed a little bit by Madrid. You should have got a centre back. I know you tried hard, but it probably
Simon Parish turned into Daniel Levy, didn't he? So
that's fair, you could have
we're giving Liverpool excuses. We're giving
but
Liverpool
excuses. I think the Gahey thing was stupid because sorry to cut you off, Johns. With Gahey, they should have bought a centre back. That was clear as day. Like Leone was it's a shame about his ACL, but he's like 18. He only had about 50 pro matches. Gomez and Konate were already injury prone. That was a given. Like Gomez apparently hasn't trained in 2 weeks. He's a mess. This guy's getting like his knee drained or injections from not training.
Like, without the talent.
Like,
yeah,
bro,
without the talent.
It's just like, what's wrong with him? But they should have had a plan B because Gahey's going on a free, so that's why they're not going to want to meet Palace's price because everyone knows he's going to walk anyway. So that's fine. But you got to get a backup in there. You have to get another body in there. You can't be talking shit like we're going to use Endo or Gravenberch or whatever. That doesn't work. You can't be messing around plugging in players out of position because it leads to a mess like this. So I agree with that with the recruitment, but I'm not mad because when we did our transfer grades, we all gave us an A. So I'm not going to turn around and say the problem was with that because players left. Two of them wanted to go, Diaz and obviously and Trent. Nunes, when we were creating a ton of chances, as much as he was pressing and doing the donkey work off the ball, absolutely. When we could talk about Salah not tracking back, Nunes, when he was on the pitch, was doing a lot of that. But at the end of the day, he wasn't finishing his dinner. Like, we paid a big fee for this guy to stick the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, no one's going to complain about Darwin being sold, right?
Like so Isak was definitely Isak was definitely the replacement for that. I don't know where Newcastle were coming from thinking that they were actually going to hang on to this guy because then they messed around and now look at them struggling, waiting on Wissa. The exact same scenario. I think Hugo was bought in because of obviously when I think that was a quick signing to do. He was probably the plan B later on in the summer if Isak didn't come, but they accelerated that one quickly as soon as Jota passed away. So I don't think that was deliberate in terms of bringing him in XYZ to compete, etc. I think it's just having a squad, having replacement players if someone gets hurt. Like Isak, as much as he's been a baller, he's not known for his health so much, is he? So I think it's just
that's fair.
You're expecting like 50 plus games.
If you go for plan B, if you go for plan B, it means you've typically abandoned plan A, right? You've said, all right, plan A is not going to work out. We'll go for plan B. You don't typically go plan B and then also plan A as well. And now you've got both of them kind of sat there waiting. And Ekitike obviously gets off to a really good start. So, I mean, we have spent a long time on this. I just think like that's probably where some of the problems have started. And I would argue for Slot, it was never really an easy hand to deal with, right? We can all look at it and say, yes, you spent a lot of money, you've got really good players, he should make it work. At the same time, you've seen better managers feel under easier circumstances than this. So from my point of view, I think you probably will need to get rid of him pretty soon, just because it becomes untenable, which is a word you hear a lot recently. And it will get to the point where he's just lost the dressing room, and I think he's well on his way, if not already had done that. So from my point of view, he will probably have to go, but I won't say it's entirely down to him. I think he's been somewhat let down by the squad planning, or the signings, just in terms of having to bed so many players at the same time. But he's also been somewhat let down, in my opinion, by his core, right? His leaders in the dressing room. We've all played Football Manager, especially the latest Football Managers, where you've got that group at the top of your club that have got a lot of that make a big difference. They can change the mood of the dressing room really quickly. I definitely don't think they have pulled their weight necessarily when it comes to Slot and his success so far this season. So we'll see how it goes. I have seen a lot of people calling for Gerrard to come back, so you never know. It might be on the cards.
God, no, jeez. Whoa.
And that'll be really funny, because he will ruin his legacy, or somewhat ruin his legacy, if he comes
I can't
back
be having that.
which is likely what he will do.
No.
Real Frank Lampard style right there. But let's move on to Arsenal. We're an hour and 15 minutes, and we do have to talk about the team that has done the opposite, essentially, of what Liverpool did. They spanked Spurs in the North London derby at the Emirates, 4-1 in the end. I think that was even generous to Spurs, because that goal was a freak goal from Richarlison. It was just off of kind of Raya, the thing that Raya does, which is he loves to be really far off his line. Eze gets a hat-trick. I think it's the first one in 80 years or whatever it is, North London derby. He does that against the team that he was so heavily linked to moving to in the summer. They were trying to, do the copium, and Xavi was a better sign. We didn't want him anyway. He's 27, whatever. They end up getting absolutely spanked by us, and they come out of that saying Frank out, and Arsenal really come out of that saying, the league is going to be a walk at this pace. Then we go back to the Emirates midweek. We come up against Bayern, very much a bogey team of ours. They tend to do a really good job of stifling and or battering us whenever we play them. Got Harry Kane, who also has a disgustingly good record against us, seems to score pretty frequently. He's in probably the form of his life, I'd say, even though I know he's been really, really good up until this point. But he's been absolutely mental for Bayern so far this season. They've come off the back of not losing a single game this season, 0 losses, all wins in the Champions League. We go 1-0 up. They pull a goal back. Hilariously, it's off a long ball, even though Joshua Kimmich is out here moaning like a little bitch about playing against Arsenal and too many long balls and long throws and whatever else. But then we go on to just hammer them again, and it's 3-1. From Martinelli, goal from Madueke, both subbed on. Unbelievable subs made from Arteta. And we're coming out the back of this very difficult week in most people's cards with a 4-1 win against Spurs and a 3-1 win against Bayern Munich.
This is Jason Momoa, and I'll be your finance professor today. Welcome to Banking Smarter 101 with Chime. Bam! First lesson, sign up for Chime and set up direct deposit. You'll be joining millions of members banking fee-free. Second lesson, get cash back on eligible purchases while building credit and a higher APY on your savings. That's how you bank smarter this season. Fa-la-la-la-la, class dismissed. Join Chime today.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and a secure Chime Visa credit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. Details at chime.com/fees-info. With a qualifying direct deposit, earn 1.5% cash back on eligible secure Chime Visa credit card purchases. On-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. APY means annual percentage yield. Learn about credit building and more at chime.com.
I'm gonna go to you, Ray, because I can see you putting the fingers and all this, that, and the other. How do you feel? What is the sense of a feeling that you have right now? How happy are you? Can you put into words just what these two results mean to you? And more importantly, what did you think of the performances?
Guys, what a great time. What a wonderful time to be alive. Do you know what I mean? What a wonderful time to be alive and be a Gooner. What a beautiful, beautiful fucking time. We're playing incredible football, man. It's not looking like there's any team that can really do anything to us, that can lay a glove on us. Do you know what I'm saying? And like I think Sunderland have probably been the most impressive opposition that we've played against this season. And I said that after when we were reviewing that game. But against Tottenham, I'm not gonna lie, I really would encourage all of the people who talk about Arsenal but don't watch Arsenal to watch that game back or watch as much of that game as they can, because the kind of football that we get accused of playing a lot of the time is exactly what Thomas Frank sent them out to do. Long balls, really anti-football, not trying to make anything, not trying to create anything. And I feel like the boys dealt with it really, really well. Eze, like, kind of coming through, and just getting that bag in the hattie, like, it's mad. But it's also like, it's good because I think there's been a lot of, like, even ourselves on the pod with Lana, with whoever, like, we've had our conversations where we've kind of been talking about him versus Odegaard. Odegaard obviously being a bit more of a workhorse, a bit more of a teacher's pet. Eze maybe being viewed as a bit more creative, but a bit more of a luxury player. And it was like, can we afford to have that in our side? And I think performances like the ones that he's put in this week, because I think he had a great game. Obviously the Tottenham performances, but I think he had a great game against Bayern Munich as well. And I think, yeah, those kind of things are establishing him. And yeah, it's kind of, I don't know what to say. I'm feeling really good. I feel great. It's wonderful.
What did you make of Trossard as well? Because I mean, of course, Eze is going to get most of the plaudits, right? He's just been unbelievable in his last two games. A lot of people were calling him out before that. I mean, on this pod, we've dissed, or I'm going to say I have dissed Trossard certain times. You know, I know that Io has been a big fan of Mikel Merino. Both of them have looked really, really good in these last two games. What do you make of some of these performances from what I'm going to call maybe some more fringe players?
I think like we've been building I think what Arteta's been building over the past however many seasons is a squad where even the fringe players are capable of contributing good stuff to the team. And I think that's been the constant thing that we've been like looking at. Do you know what I'm saying? And I completely, like, I think it's really tricky because I've said I feel like I get painted as like what does I call me sometimes an Arteta sexual, which is nonsense. Yeah. The thing for me is that I just vividly remember what it was like when we were struggling, and I have appreciation for where we've come from to get to this point. And I think with those kind of players, like, yeah, if we're going into a season as we were forced to do before, and it's kind of like, oh, yeah, this is our striker option, and they're not an out-and-out striker, and we kind of wanted this, but we didn't do the business, then I got reservations and stuff. But it's like, you know, we were just talking about Isaac and, like, how much transfers cost and what you got to do. And it's like, we had this discussion when we were talking about the transfer window. It's like, I feel like some of the business that we did was much cleverer, much more efficient, didn't cost us as much, and we've got these players in the side now that are able to pull up and perform. We've got squad depth that's able to pull up and perform. And yeah, I think the most satisfying part of it is watching you and Ayo have to eat all of your fucking negativity, because, you know, man, them were chatting shit about money.
Don't put me in that bracket, please. I'm not as bad as Ayo.
You're in that bracket. Like, no, you've been in that bracket. Run the tapes. It's there. It's on YouTube.
You definitely was there, John. I'm definitely there.
On my bracket, yes,
on my team, and they're always trying to gaslight me.
I've been a big Merino supporter. I've pretty to Merino, generally speaking. I've been mixed on Trossard. I get that. I've been very nice on Eze. I've been very nice on Odegaard. Very nice on Arteta.
You man were negative about the prospects of us even getting Eze. I actually need to go back and run the tapes, innit? Because, like,
negative about the prospects of getting Eze.
Why are we getting Madueke for 52 million? We haven't done the Eze deal. I was like, Boski, like, if the Eze deal doesn't come through, then I'll hear you. But I feel like it's gonna come through. Like, if he gets to pick a club, he's gonna pick us. Nobody spun the block though. Nobody was like, you know what, Razor? I see you. So I'm just ignore me now. Let me get my.
I definitely said I see you like 2 days ago in the chat, but okay.
Yeah, in the chat. Now it's on the pod, so it's cool.
Yeah, okay. I solemnly swear that I apologise for all of the horrible things that I said about Madueke, Trossard, whoever else you want to add into that bucket. But I have also been
it goes all the way back. It goes back to like the times of Ben White. Like I'm still out here being like, guys, was Ben White a good signing? When we got him for the seasons that he played, did he not hold it? Like what? And I think we just, like we've got like PTSD as Arsenal fans, a lot of us. And I think we just need to be chill. And you know what? Yeah. It was just in the chat. Yeah. Shout out Roy. Like, it's a good point. Like, there's a lot of football to still be played. Do you know what I mean? Nothing is confirmed yet. You don't win the league in November. You don't win the league in December, innit? Like, there's a lot of football to still be played. But I think it's really nice to see how unexpected characters in the squad are coming through. So we all expect I don't know if we expected it to be that spectacular, but we all expected Eze to like be a main player for the side this season. Marino stepping up again. I don't think any of us thought we were going to be looking at playing this many game weeks without Havertz, Gyökeres, or Gabby Jesus. Do you know what I mean? So Marino stepping up again, stuff like that. I think there's potential for other players to step into them positions. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we've seen everything that we're going to see from Ethan this season. I feel like we've got a Miles Lewis-Skelly arc loading. I feel we've got a Christian Norgard arc loading. Do you know what I'm saying? So
you're pushing it now, all right? All right. I had it at MLS is okay, but you're pushing it with fucking Norgard.
No, I'm being real. MLS, mark my words, yeah. Before the end of the season, we're going to see MLS have a big game in midfield for us in the Prem, yeah. And we're also, all of you lot are going to have another one of your moments about Norgard, where you're going to be like, I'm so sorry, Reza, I was not familiar with your game, bull, but it's okay.
So now you're claiming Norgard. You're claiming Norgard. Norgard is your own as well, yeah?
Hey, Jonathan, this is your podcast. Go back and run the fucking tapes, bro.
This is our podcast, and you definitely did not say that.
I said you got the big boy login to the YouTube account, innit? But that's what I'm saying. This is. I said it. I was like, I feel like he's a good buy. What did we want? Not going back to Liverpool. Yeah. But just slightly.
But you are.
They bought two strikers that have aspirations or like ideals of being the main man, the first team striker. And it's not a problem of quantity, but it's about squad role. And this goes back to what, like, I remember it on that, what was it, FIFA 09, maybe even PES 5. It's like you sign a player. It's like, what's your squad role? And you can't, and sometimes you try to sign a player and you tell them, oh, you're going to be a first team player, you're an important player. And they're like, I'm looking at your facilities and it's not making sense to me, big man. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think we've done really well at Arsenal, innit? Like, is Noni going to get upset about getting benched for Saka? No, is anyone going to get upset about it? I pray you don't, because I'll come down there and slap you myself. But Martinelli, Madueke, Trossard, like these players are all, we've got the thing that we've all got, like even Hincapié. The thing that I love about Hincapié is Hincapié came there, Mosquera came there, they looked at what's essentially, in my opinion, the best centre-back partnership in the country, and they went, I fancy fighting for a place to be there. I fancy learning from these, man. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the essence of what we've got going on and why it's working in terms of those fringe players. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely think that we have done a good job there. And I think obviously Roy said it right here, right? 3 seasons ago, Man City had great squad depth. He thinks Arsenal have better squad depth than Man City had at their height, which I'm not sure I fully agree with that, but I'm loving the positivity. And then he goes on to say that very clever transfer policy by Arsenal this season. It was needed and we delivered. And I want to bring Rhys in on this one, yeah? So obviously, there's been a lot said about, the Arsenal transfer policy. I would say even a lot of Arsenal fans would say this summer's just gone. Not every single one of the players that we bought ended up being kind of our number one option, right? We talked a little bit earlier about Gyökeres and Isak. We talked a little bit about Madueke, et cetera, You could go on about all of our players that we've essentially bought, not necessarily being like the first choice or being the biggest name from the biggest club. It has ended up that we've ended up getting, Eze from Crystal Palace. This is probably helping when it comes to a player not wanting or not thinking they've got a massive ego to say, I need to be getting into this team and I'm not willing to sit on the bench a little bit. You get Gyökeres from Sporting. similar kind of thing, even though he's banging the goals in for Sporting, they're not necessarily at the same stature as Arsenal. You've got Madueke, who, as much as Chelsea are looking really, really good this season, you weren't necessarily looking great when he was playing for you, right? So he's obviously he's come into the team thinking, okay, I can make a way into this team. He knows Saka's in there. What do you have to say about, like, in general, the transfer policy of maybe getting players from a rung down and trying to maximize them in the team? Do you think that was something that we did on purpose? Do you think it's just kind of lucky and we're benefiting from it now? Like, what's your point on the whole transfer policy? Do you think Arsenal really meant it, or did we just fall arse backwards into something that's working?
Nah, I definitely think it was a more calculated approach this season. I think Arsenal kind of looked at themselves, and you have to think they've finished strong for 2 or 3 seasons now. So it's how can they go to the next kind of level, I suppose. And what they've done, I think they've made transfers to support their starting 11. Saka, they've bought a striker. They've covered midfield quite decently, and even in defence. So I think they've taken the strategy of how can we stay in it for the long haul and compete on every front. And I honestly do think this team that they've got can compete on every front. I mean, if you look at the second team of Arsenal, I mean, it's not too shabby. But I would kind of say I think they were much more calculated this season, and I definitely think it's been smart in terms of, if you look at Madueke. I mean, as a Chelsea fan, he did. I wouldn't say he was like bad, awful. He had his games where he was hit and miss, but he left with a sort of good rep, sort of like with Chelsea. It wasn't. I don't think it was bad between him and the fans. I just think maybe it might have been harder for him to get in the team now, with obviously the new star boy on the block, Esteval. So I think he kind of looked at that and just maybe Arsenal's still a good place. He can still develop, and so he's a good player. But you look at me funny. And Eze, obviously another Prem proven player, experienced, great, can play as a number 10, play on the wing, provides you multiple options going forward. Norgard again, Prem proven. Yeah, these are calculated, man, and I really think it's gonna push you towards obviously where you need to be at the top of the league. Liverpool's one is slightly different because I guess they bought a lot of players that aren't Prem proven yet, or come from different leagues that need to adapt. Like you could see that with Wirtz. Like as much as you say he does stink up the place, like in the Bundesliga there was a player there. So it's about how quickly can you adapt, and it's also about the confidence maybe the manager puts into you. And Arteta seems like a bit of a madman. I've seen some of his training methods with the light bulb and playing music in the training grounds.
The Anfield background music.
What he do is turned off.
And shit, yeah.
I heard he's turned off the TVs on the concourse to get the fans back in the Emirates quick. Thinking about something new to spur Arsenal on to do something. So it's all looking good for you lot. As much as it pains me to say it, because.
But I want to bring up that Roy said, right? So obviously his point is still a lot of football to go. Obviously Ray's repeated it there. I'm a firm believer that until it's over, it ain't over. But he is saying that City and Chelsea are still in that race, and I did hear you earlier say that as a top 4 race. But are you ready to put yourself? Looking at this Arsenal team, do you not think that you guys could give us a good run? I'm hearing a lot of Chelsea fans saying that you're going to get the win this weekend too. Are you not going to be in that race with us?
The reason why people say Arsenal are favourites, is because the rest of the league stink. The City, I mean, they're so inconsistent. 1 minute they'll slap you 5-1, the next minute they'll lose 3-1. Like us personally, like I've said it before, we don't have the defense of champions, maybe, and we're a bit inconsistent. Although we'll get into that obviously when we speak about Chelsea. I don't think we have the wherewithal to stay in the race. I mean, it's all good and well, like you said, the title's not won in November, but can we stay in the race? Can we pick up these important points? Can we go away to teams that will make it difficult for us, like Arsenal? Because Arsenal are a physical team. You want to play, and there was times when Arsenal weren't a physical team back in the day. They're much more like, you step to them, they'll step to you just as hard. Like, did you get what I'm saying? So it's just, do we have the fight in our belly for it? If we get a result next week, I might change my tune. You know how I flip flop. Look at Garnacho. So I might change my tune next week. But I think for now, I just think we just need to focus and build our confidence slowly. And then if we
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to stay out the limelight. You don't want the pressure yet. It's fine. But we'll move it on to Khem, because I want to call out another thing that Roy said in the chat, where he said that apparently Arsenal's current squad is better than Man City's 3 seasons ago. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, you know very, very well what that Man City team looked like. You had to suffer at their hands quite a lot, as we did a few seasons ago as well. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think that we have, that level of squad depth at this point in time?
Sorry, did you say City at their height or City three seasons ago?
I mean, you can say either or, whichever one. We can start with 3 seasons
I think
ago, but
it says 3 seasons ago. He can read.
I can't see it. My thing's cut off. But no, because then they won a treble 3 seasons ago. So I mean, Arsenal they're on pace for a quadruple. So you never know. And anything less than 2 trophies would be a poor season. But like, do you know what? Actually, do you know what? I want to agree with Roy, because when I kept saying this, you guys kept calling me disingenuous. So the same way my best friend Ray has said, pull the tapes. Yeah, I actually wanted to pull the tapes, because yes, you called us. I agree. I always said joint favorites, and you guys called me disingenuous. But the first part, I said we're going to have to integrate a lot of new people, whereas you guys have that continuity. And I've seen that from our Klopp teams, especially sort of just before COVID coming out of it. Like, you add a few pieces here and there, but you have the same core group and the same identity in your team. So Arteta's come in, he's had a plan, you just had shit players. And over time, you've added, you could say people like Benny Blanco and you got rid of Aubameyang because of his attitude, and then you move Saka from left back to the wing, and you've done all these little things to the point where all you guys said was you're a striker away. So I have to give you guys credit for it. Like, you guys have built a strong team. Like Rhys said, you're very physical. You're really difficult to beat. People obviously clown you for the set pieces and stuff, but it's the other team's job to stop you from scoring them, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, you play how you want to play, but when you also get the ball down and play it around, you play teams off the park. Like, you've just, to be, you always kill Spurs, so I'm not going to get too high on that one. But the Bayern Munich performance was really, really good. And to touch on the 26 games left, that is true. I do think it's a cakewalk for you guys, and I have been saying that for weeks anyway, because the rest of us do suck. Like, but you guys have just been that much better, so much more consistent. I think that was the first goal you've conceded in this new format of the Champions League, certainly the group phase, in the last 2 years. It was a decent goal from them as well. Like, it's taken that long for someone to score against you. Like, you're always going to collect points every match you play, basically. It's just a matter of, is it 3 or is it 1? Except when you're at Anfield, obviously. But with that in mind, like, the depth thing, I think City's had more, but that's just because they obviously broke the rules. I don't know how many charges they had in their head. Like some crazy number, like Diddy level charges,
rules.
Yeah. But enough anyway to get the world's attention. So I'd say they had a little bit more world class depth. Like it's pretty unfair to be able to just take off like Mahrez and swap him out for like Bernardo or something. That's a bit wild. I'm not saying. Whereas yours is obviously Saka and Madueke. Not to dismiss Madueke, but the difference is there, isn't it? Like if you're comparing it to what City had at their height. But it's either way. You have like good depth. Like you have players that will come in and do a job. Like Mosquera, I thought he was really good. I think he's a really good addition. He's a young player that can learn, like Rhys said. Hincapié is a good signing. I was annoyed when you got him as well because he's a player I rate. I was really annoyed when you got Eze. You added the players that the fans wanted as well, so the energy is there in the stadium. Like you guys have a feeling that this is your year. You can sense it. So it makes me sick having to praise this, but I have been consistent with it. When I said you guys were the favourites, even when we were 5 points clear at the start, I still said you were joint favourites with us, and you were calling me disingenuous, and I was saying no. I can see us making errors, and you guys have that continuity. I didn't think we'd obviously have this complete car crash that we've had of a season, like Pastor Maldonado in his prime level, Monaco turn 1, big accident bursting into flames kind of shit show that we've had. Didn't expect that at all. No one did. But in terms of what you guys are doing, I think the big pressure now is, can you keep that going, obviously, because that's where you've obviously fallen short. The pressure will get there, the expectations are there, but I think you guys are handling it really well. The Sunderland game, I said before, even though it was 2-2, you guys, I think you did really well to fight back. You're still missing your Carrez. I think you were missing Martinelli, and you still came back and dominated the match. So you guys have that fight as well as the finesse as a combination. So yeah, like I think it's all yours. Even though it is a down year for Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Man United, and Leicester, it's definitely still
of course
your year.
Yes, of course. That was going so well until you became super disingenuous at the end. But yeah, go ahead.
Johns, can I just say that this narrative that the Liverpool fans seem to have pivoted to, about the league being really weak, like it's really interesting because I think there's a general consensus that Liverpool's 2. It's 2, right? In the Premier, it's 2, right?
In 30 years, yeah.
Yeah. Both of them have been at times. Why are you not answering the question? I just don't want to get it wrong. Why are you sitting there like? Anyway, the two Prems, like they've both arguably come at times when a lot of fan sentiment has been that the league has been weak. The league has been weak, or things have not been what they should be. So for me, I think it's really interesting seeing Liverpool fans with one hand fight off those allegations and claims, and then with the other hand, they're prepping them in November. Might I add, the Americans haven't even eaten their turkey yet for Thanksgiving, and man are doing cope for Arsenal. It's beautiful, man. I told you guys, what a time to be a Gunner. Anyway, 141. We still need to talk about Chelsea. We still need to do prediction leagues. Let me hand it back to my favorite brother.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll move on to Chelsea now. The only thing I'll say about that whole kind of narrative about a weaker league, I couldn't give a shit. A league's a league. It ain't going to make any difference in 30 years. I need a league. I don't give a shit if we're playing against fucking Preston North End, Grimsby Town. I couldn't give a shit. That. We need to win a league, and we'll do what we need to do and move on. There have been weak leagues before. It doesn't make a difference. It makes it even worse if we don't fucking win it. So let's go on. Let's focus on winning the league while Liverpool are coping in the corner, City are open in the other corner, while Chelsea are trying to push every bit of limelight away from them. Let's go on and fucking win this league, because I'm tired of this bullshit and everyone using all of these different excuses to try and belittle us. Winning a league, getting a trophy, seeing the armpits, as we say. That's the only thing that we can answer with. Right, so let's do that, and then we'll talk afterwards. All right. Anyway, let's move on to Chelsea. Before Rhys, either his internet goes off or he falls asleep in the car. He is obviously the father of a newborn or a relatively young child, so I can imagine that he is low on sleep. But I will say one thing is that your performances were not sleepy, boring performances. They were fucking good ones. I will say, obviously, Burnley wasn't the greatest game, but you did what you had to do. And I came on this podcast last week and I said that's the exact type of game that Chelsea need to take advantage of, because Arsenal have got a hard game, Man City have got a hard game. Obviously, Tottenham are playing against us. You know, there are hard games in and around them, and this is the time that they need to take advantage of it. I also said that this is the exact type of game that Chelsea would fuck up this season. If you look at their fixtures, their performances so far this season, it's against the good teams where they actually put in a good performance to get a win. It's against the not so great teams where they're actually losing or not playing so well. So they go and win that game 2-0. Nothing major to write home about. Andre Santos was amazing in that game. He got man of the match in the end. I'm starting to see a little bit of what Chelsea fans were talking about when it comes to him. He is looking really good and looking a bit spooky if they've got Caicedo as their number one DM and then fucking Andre Santos in the wings waiting for him to get injured when he's inevitably kicking someone's shins. But then it comes to Chelsea against Barcelona. Barcelona, one of the two best teams, arguably, of last season. A team that, you know, a lot has been said about Yamal. A lot of it has been said about all of the various young players they've got, whether it's Fermin, Gavi, Pedro, doesn't matter, Kubasi. People have been talking about these players like they're the, you know, God's gift to the earth. And Chelsea go out there and absolutely batter them. I watched that game. Yes, maybe if Ferran Torres puts that first chance away, the game looks a little different, but you were rinsing them left, right, and centre. Their midfield basically looked like a Man United midfield at times, where Frankie de Jong just looked like he was on an island by himself, and Eric Garcia was in his Batman mask doing his best Gravenberch impression, just running around, flailing about like a headless chicken. And you guys just put them to the sword, man. Esteval, unbelievable performance from him as he's kind of come to be known so far this season. I mean, Enzo looked good. Pedro, of course, looked good. Even Garnacho was looking good at times. Caicedo did his typical performance, kicking everyone's shins, getting the ball. Unbelievable from him as well. Bukayo absolutely locked up Yamal. Yamal at certain times looked like he didn't want to be on the pitch. You know, I made the comment in the group chat that he looked like Marcus Rashford, Man United. This guy did not want to be there. He wanted to get off that pitch, get back on a yacht somewhere, you know, get back with his ladies and do what he needs to do, because he did not want to be there. And it was an unbelievable performance. Arguably, you know, alongside of the Arsenal Bayern Munich performance, I think it was probably the best performance that we've seen in the Champions League from an English team this week. I mean, we'll start with you, Rhys. Just how happy are you coming off the back of these two performances? Are there any players that you want to call out? I know you're obviously going to talk about your star boy, but are there any other performances that you want to call out? Because those are some great performances to put in it.
Yeah, man. First of all, just need to ask a question. I don't know if anyone's seen Lamine Yamal yet. Obviously, bucked up with Cucurella in southwest London, and we ain't seen him since. So, boy, if you could just put the word out, you might have to. You know, I think he's got a game on the weekend. But nah, yeah. In all, Burnley. It was difficult in the first half. We didn't offer too much. But we did get quite lucky with sort of the ball in the box and Pedro Neto header. Big shout out to Pedro Neto as well, man, because I think he's really, really stepped up and kind of a bit of an unsung hero. But he's done really well. Like you said, that was the type of game we go to Burnley, Turf Moor, difficult ground. They make it difficult for us, and then we shy away. But we stepped up. We once we got the first goal, we made it difficult for them, and then we went and got the second 2-0. I think we've got I think it's 4 clean sheets in 5. So the bozo moments are starting to disappear as well. Barca was it was a great game, man. I think the crowd did their bit and made it very difficult for Barca in general and the players. Tactically, Maresca got it spot on. I mean, you could see that high line was there to be exploited with the amount of disallowed goals that we ended up getting. But in general, like the play from back to front, it was quick transitions. We was getting the ball, we was moving it forward fast. The outlets of Pedro Neto and Garnacho and Esteval, they were brilliant. Everyone was brilliant. Rhys James was following Frankie de Jong around like he owed him rent money or something, but he couldn't do nothing with him. He couldn't do absolutely nothing. So I think we did really well. I was really pleased with the result. Esteval, I can't speak on him too highly enough. Man, like what a player! And I saw it live with my own eyes on Tuesday. He's very, very, he's a baller, man, very special. And the thing is, he's the type of winger that he's got so much flair. He could just take the ball and obviously cause the defenders problems. Like Balde couldn't get near him. It was crazy. But yeah, we don't want to sort of hype. We don't want to sort of get it too ahead. One thing, we're picking up wins without Cole Palmer, which again is very positive, because when he does, we can sort of, like, I know you laugh about obviously he stubbed his toe or whatever, or that stupidness at home, but the thing is he played a lot of football for us. So if we can sort of give him enough rest that he needs, that he can come back refreshed and help us for our top four charge, it's only going to look good for us. So I appreciate that we are slowly coming together. Enzo Maresca, I do feel like on his day, tactically, he can go toe-to-toe with anyone. I think he's shown that, except Man United, where he shit the bed. But he can, on his day, I do think he can get it right. So very props to him. Like, I've never been Maresca out, but obviously I don't think I was a massive fan of maybe some of like the build-up play and like how he uses the fullbacks. But he's doing it his way and it's working. So I can't complain, man. I'm gonna just shut up and just enjoy the ride. But yeah, in terms of players, I can't think of anyone that's really like I could call out as being bad. I feel like we're all playing for each other. Everyone wants to play for the team. Enzo is stepping up and showing his qualities. The pivot with Caicedo and Rhys James is really working now. Defensively, like I said, 4 clean sheets in 5. So what? I can't even complain about that. But the big, like, this is a big litmus test for us this week, and the final boss is Arsenal. So bring your Saka, bring your Rhys. And we'll see what I got in it. But I don't want to like talk too much. Like I said, Arsenal look good in it.
Those are fighting words, my friend. Those are fighting.
They
words.
are. The thing is, I have to. Ant was getting on to me earlier. You've got to show some chest, and like you can't really back down from these wars, man. Like we've been there. Right? No, but at the end of the day, I do feel like if the players are up for it, we can compete, and I think that's the confidence I'm going into this game with. We can stand toe to toe. Do we want to be physical with Arsenal? Let's see, because I know Arsenal will make it difficult for us. I don't think Arsenal will let us play like Barcelona let us play. But yeah, we're ready. And if there was ever a test, this is the best.
Chests are out.
Man, big
Jordan
chest.
in her prime right now. Page 3 out, big chest out.
All sorts of double D's. No, I'm joking. If we're up for it, and we you talk about title race, but these are the games where I see whether we're in a title race or not. Like, do you want to like, when Arsenal come, don't let them play. Don't let them be comfortable. Don't like be first in the duels. And then let's see where we go from there. But we could talk about title race next week if we are 3-point collectors and Arsenal are in the mud. But I think right now we're doing well, and there's a lot of positives to take more than negatives. So let me not complain. Happy days. Big up the Chelsea. Tell me when you find him out, Ray. I think he was around your ways. So if you spot him, let me know.
Last spotted somewhere in West London. Unfortunately, it looks like he might be some of that glazing might have to go because Barcelona looked absolutely shoddy. But I mean, Razor, Khem, I know that we're an hour and 52 minutes deep. Is there anything you want to add to that? Ray, are you scared of this team? I mean, Khem, I know obviously you're going to have your Chelsea on. Obviously, you're going to have your Chelsea shirt on the weekend. But I mean, how spooky are Chelsea looking right now? Do you think they're a genuine title contender right now?
Abercrombie Kids is bringing the cheer all holiday season and the gifts too. No matter how long their wish list is, there's always room for just one more. Whether it's a new winter coat, an extra pair of jeans, or cozy matching sweat sets, get gifting with looks they've been waiting for all year. Shop Abercrombie Kids in the app, online, and in stores.
Are you asking me?
Either of you.
I think Chelsea are definitely a title contender. Absolutely. To answer the second part of your question first, definitely a title contender. I think they are potentially looking at being the main title contender. If you look at Arsenal, it's like the front runners. It's really dependent on how consistent City can be and how Chelsea can be. But I'm scared? Nah, I'm not. I'm not even saying that like from a position. I'm not like, oh yeah, we're gonna batter Chelsea. I'm super confident that we're gonna batter Chelsea, but like scared, nah. Like man to man. Do you know who sounds scared? The Chelsea fans that I talked to. Me and Rhys had a conversation the other day. He was still high. Like this was like high off the win against Barcelona. They just won. He was talking about like Arsenal, they're gonna be more physical. Like they won't let us have that. I was like, why are you man sounding scared for? It's gonna be a good game. So personally, I'm not scared. I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to all our London derbies. Like I said, Chelsea a good side, playing good football. Yeah. A lot of online Chelsea fans claim that they've got the best player in several positions in the league. So it's gonna be real interesting to see, man. It's gonna be really good to see. But yeah, I'm not scared. That's the best thing about being an Arsenal fan this season, isn't it? Like there's no fear, there's no apprehension, there's just anticipation, appreciation. I think that's Ant. No.
That is Ant.
Yeah, no. It's my response to you there. No.
I was talking about Estevio.
I've always said they're title challengers, so I'm going to stick with it until they fall off. They very much are. I'll just be quick with it because I know our time, but I think Chelsea performed really, really well against Barcelona. They had them shook. Obviously, the game could be a bit different if Ferran didn't. I don't know how the hell he missed that chance in the first 5-6 minutes, whatever it was. That was awful. But even still, they couldn't lay a glove on Chelsea. They were all over them. Enjoy it now, Rhys, before your bold manager turns extremely bold as well, because it's clearly a thing. So enjoy it until he.
At least he's not Dutch.
He's not Dutch. No, it's true. But
Italian board managers might have a different kind of sauce out here.
Yeah, maybe. But like with yeah. But he no, you guys absolutely cooked, and you did obviously buy like 50 flipping 17-year-olds over the last few years, so you're bound to find one superstar out of them. But Estevao is killing it, and he dwarfed Yamal on Tuesday.
We're going to move away from that subject very, very quickly and swiftly. We are an hour and 50 minutes. We are now going to get into the preview for next week. Everyone's going to give their predictions of the game. We've obviously had a couple of changes to tools on how predictions are given, when they are given, and what warnings are given to them to make sure they give them in on time. I'm not going to dwell on my part too, because obviously I think you guys know how I feel about last week's robbery and the cabal decision that you made against me. But as we've always kind of started on, Prediction League as it currently stands today, Io is still in first with 44 points and 8 correct results or correct scorelines. I am in second with 41 points and 6 correct results. Rhys is in third, 30 points and 6 correct scorelines. Ant's also on a similar point, so he's on 38 as well, but with 5 correct results. Ray's in fifth with 38 points and 4 correct scorelines. Very congested in the middle of that pack. Khem is back to his usual self. He is in sixth with 37 points, 6 correct scorelines. And Nash is bottom feeding once again in 7th place with 24 points and 2 correct scorelines. So we are going to go in that order. We're going to start with Man City against Burnley. So Man City at home, being one of the worst teams in the league, essentially, definitely looking like they're going to go straight back down. We'll start with Io's prediction, but there isn't one. Revenge is sweet, my friend. So he is going to give in between now and when that game starts, and he's going to be capped to only 1 point for the correct result in the end, but he cannot get 3 points for a scoreline. Hold that.
Relying on Tic Tacs every week. Sure. Useless.
He needs to use the alarm function on his phone a little bit better, or
in the same time zone as well.
It's disgraceful.
Disgraceful.
I'm going to go for a 3-0 Man City win. I think they're just going to be too strong for Burnley. I think Haaland is going to come through, and I might even triple captain him on FPL, so I can see what we can do there. But we'll go to Rhys next, mate. What have you got for the City Burnley result?
Wait, can I just? Is it Leeds or Burnley?
I believe it's Burnley.
I got Burnley.
Wait, let me put it.
Where did I? What? It's a Saturday the 29th.
Have you had a howler?
Is it Saturday? What?
Have you had a howler?
We talking about this Saturday?
I've got Leeds, but I've got Leeds. I've got Leeds. Oh, it's Leeds.
The chance if you said the wrong result. If you said the wrong result again.
It's Leeds.
Wait.
Let me have a look.
Oh, it is Leeds. Fucking hell.
Anthony.
Oh, no.
No.
The fucking wrong one in here.
So what do we do with that result then?
I copy and pasted.
I mean, it's not.
So did I. That's what I done.
Really.
That's what I done.
It's not all that different, really. They're just as shit. But I think what we'll do is we'll allow you to change it right now, here and now, and I will change it in the document. All right.
Just keep the same scoreline.
I went Leeds.
Same scoreline, man. It's just
I went Leeds, and I went 4-0 to City. Clarify. Yeah, I think I've already triple captained Haaland, so I'm kind of hoping he comes through. Yeah, that's my prediction today.
And I've just been with some other information. Anthony's an absolute C word for this, but apparently Io did put his scores in on time at 2:32 earlier today. And Anthony just did not tell me until like 2 minutes before I've got to talk about them. So great job, Ant. You are shit at that. But anyway, so we'll go for the Man City Leeds one. We'll go again. So Io's put in 3-0 Man City against Leeds. I've gone still 3-0. I don't really care if it's Leeds or Burnley. I'm still assuming it's going to be essentially the same result. They're both shit. Rhys, you've gone for 4-0. And go to Ant next. He has put 3-1 to Man City. And Ray, how about you?
I've gone with a conservative 2-0.
Oh, okay. Was that based off of Leeds or Burnley? What are we talking here? Do you want to change that at all?
It was based on. Wait, am I allowed to change it? Is that what's being offered now?
The rules are all out the window because Anthony's fucked all this up. So I will allow you to do one last change for that specific result and that one only.
Oh, put me down for 3.
All right, you want 3-0, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Right, Khem, how about you?
I'd base mine off of Burnley as well. So if I said 5-1, can I get the points from when they actually beat Burnley 5-1 in September. Oh, I might match Ray. I'll just
No,
do
you
3-0
cannot.
against Leeds. I'll do 3-0.
All right.
Yeah.
And Nash has gone for 3-0 as well. So a lot of 3-0s in there. It doesn't look like we have very much faith in Leeds to get any kind of goal here, except for Anthony.
And out as well as Slot.
We'll
and
move.
Out.
Yeah, Ant needs to go out as well. He needs to get a points deduction for this disgraceful behaviour that he's put in here.
Bold performance from him.
Then we've then we've got Spurs and Fulham. So this is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Io has gone for 1-1. Strong hosting skills, mate. You are fucking all this up, and you've been far worse than this on many occasions. So shut the fuck. So yeah, Io's gone 1-1. Spurs and Fulham. I've also gone for the same result, 1-1. Rhys, how about you? What are you going for with Spurs and Fulham?
I'm going 3-1 Tottenham, just based off the fact Fulham are kind of in the mud a bit, and Tottenham sort of gave a reaction against PSG, but they fell off again. But they need to give more of a reaction from the Arsenal game, so I'm going to back them to go and get the points.
All right, and then Anthony's gone for 2-1 Spurs. Rhys, how about you?
I've also
You
gone
may not
2-1.
change this one, to be clear.
I've also gone 2-1 to the shit Spurs.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to bounce back, as Rhys said very eloquently and articulately. So I won't repeat it.
And Khem, how about you?
1-1.
Okay, and Nash has also gone for 1-1 as well. So we've got a lot of 1-1s in there. 1-3-1, and then a couple of 2-1s as well. So everyone is predicting that to be a pretty close game. Then we've got Palace against Man United. We didn't talk much about Man United, but now that I know Anthony is listening, you lot are shit. And you were absolutely wank against Everton. Hold that. So Crystal Palace against Man United at Palace's ground. Io has gone for 2-1 Palace. I have also gone for the same. I just don't think Man United are going to be good enough to deal with Glasner's team. Rhys, what have you gone for?
I've gone 2-0 Palace. After United couldn't find a goal against 10-man Everton. I don't really back them to do much with Palace. So yeah, 2-1.
All right, Ant has gone for 2-2. And Ray, how about you?
One, Ant is a very optimistic man. Two, I proper sound like I've just been copying Rhys's homework, but I swear we did these separately. But yeah, 2-0. Selhurst Park will be rocking. United don't have the minerals. Similar line of reasoning. You couldn't get a goal against 10 men Everton. How are you gonna like Palace are one of the best drilled sides in the league? Yeah. So 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Eagles for the purpose of this weekend only. And to echo Jonty's sentiment, yes, Anthony, United are shit.
And let's go for you, Khem. I think you might have a slightly different prediction. What have you got with Palace and United, mate?
I've gone 2-1 United.
Are you playing differentials again? Is that what you're doing?
A lot. I think the thing is, I'm pretty sure I submitted mine like before United played Everton. Like I sent it bare early.
You got in pretty early.
So I just said anything, and then I was like, I need to get back to my rightful spot in the top three. And United are so dumb, and we need Amorim to stay in a job. So let's do it.
All right, and then Nash has gone for 2-1 Palace. So you are the only person predicting Man United to win, the biggest Man United hater on the pod, where the two Man United fans have gone for a draw and a loss. Amazing. All right, let's then get on to what is likely to be quite a funny game, West Ham against Liverpool. Io has gone for 2 Liverpool. I've gone for it to continue, and I've gone 2-1 West Ham. Rhys, what have you gone for? Rhys, what have you gone for, mate?
Or is it me?
Yes.
Liverpool, West
yeah,
Ham.
I'll keep it short because I don't know if my connection keeps. Yeah, sorry. 2-1, Liverpool. Liverpool to bounce back.
Oi. And for 2-1 West Ham, so he also thinks that West Ham are going to continue that Liverpool beating. Ray, what have you gone for?
This is weird, man. I've gone 2-1 Liverpool. Because I think Liverpool are going to be stinky, but I think there's a limit to how much they can stink. I may be wrong. I've been proved wrong several times with this Liverpool side this season. They have stunk. So 2-1 Liverpool. Happy to be proven wrong. I care more about Khem's discomfort than the prediction leagues. So, yeah.
And speaking of Khem, what have you gone for, mate?
1-1. It'll be the worst kind of result because we won't get the points and the manager stays. So 1-1. That's yeah.
You look so depressed. It is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, that is crazy. And Nash has gone for 2-1 Liverpool as well. So, I mean, we've got a pretty mixed bag there. Some people thinking it's going to continue.
You man think we're going to score twice? I don't know where you see it. Like in the last 3 games, we've scored once. So
yeah, you never know. There might be some own goals. You never know what might happen, mate.
So Nuno's their manager.
They owe you goals. They owe the fans goals.
Nuno's the only manager that Slot couldn't. Sorry, Nuno's the only manager that Slot couldn't beat. I'm calling him Slut now. That he couldn't beat last season. Move on. I don't like talking about this team anymore. On to the next one.
Nash has gone for 2-1 Liverpool as well. So yeah, a mixed bag. But let's move on to probably the main event of the weekend, which is Chelsea against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. Io has gone for 2-1 Arsenal. I have gone 3-1 Arsenal. Rhys, what have you gone for?
Oh, I should have backed us more, man. I went 1-1. I know, man. I'm a bit disappointed in myself personally. I went 1-1, but deep down, I did want to go 2-1. But now I'm seeing you, man, have gone 2-1 and 3-1. I'm keeping these receipts. Just know, like, we will be here next week. Io, I hope you're not working, bruv. I'm gonna see you next week.
Hey, that is fighting. That is real fighting talk right there from you.
Ant has
gone for. Oh God, Ant has gone for 2-1 to Arsenal. Ray, what about you?
Hey, man, I'm doing a fighting talk. Man, I'm talking about brothers' work rotas and that. 3-1 to the Arsenal. I actually feel like I'm being quite generous. I feel like Chelsea will get a goal. I don't know where it's gonna come from, but I feel like they will get one, which is where I feel like the generosity is. But yeah, past the Timber Clinic. I don't know if you've seen.
I'm gonna need all of these clips. All of these clips. Whoever's doing the editing.
You have access to yourself, brother. Get them yourself.
I will clip them for you.
I'm gonna need some clips.
Right now, you see, just then when the audio went out of time and you slowly went, huh? That's what I'm gonna use when I put up the match stats. It's good. As I was saying, Pastor Timber is doing his evangelicism. It's working. I see Noni thanking God and that. He weren't doing all of that at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? He's strayed away from the path of heathens. With God on our side, how can we fail? Do you know what I mean? I'll let you get the plebs predictions in as well. But yeah, very confident. I might get proven wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not worried. We're not worried. No.
Interesting. Next week's going to be a very interesting episode. Khem, what have you gone for, mate? Chelsea, Arsenal.
2-1 to Chelsea.
Interesting. Are you playing differentials, or do you really believe that?
Well, like now I'm on loan and everything. I've got to start back in the. No, joking. I think It's just hate, to be honest. I need to see a title race. That's some sort of title race because it's a cakewalk. So at least can we have something until Christmas to pretend that there's a battle. So yeah, Chelsea.
Interesting. And Nash has gone for 2-1 to Arsenal. So it's going to be an interesting week next week. I think we're going to have a very interesting podcast, particularly if any of these results turn out any of the ways that we've suggested they would, particularly that Palace game, the Liverpool game, and the Chelsea game. Can't wait for next week. But I think we'll wrap it up here. We've been on for 2 hours and 12 minutes, a mammoth pod. I've been robbed of what I thought was going to be revenge, and I'm sure Io's out there somewhere, shaking some martinis and watching this with a big on his. But don't worry, you will be late again, and I will be there. We will all be here. And Anthony, you are well and truly on board. You are quite clearly back in Io in this race, and I think that we need to have a vote to oust you as the overall collector of predictions, because this has been a stinky job you have done. So anyway, thank you for tuning in.
Anyone else to do the admin? Let Anthony continue doing that.
I think we can maybe
he said we got Man City versus Burnley,
adjudicator. Yeah, exactly. This is disgraceful. An independent adjudicator. We'll get somebody else, Guth or James.
Get Roy.
Somebody will help us out.
Get
Roy. There we go. We'll get Roy Marsh out of YouTube to help us with this.
Shout out Roy,
because it's quite clear that there's some favoritism going on. But anyway, thank you for listening to this week's episode, and we'll catch you next week for what is going to be a very tasty battle. And a lot of people have their chest out right now, so avert your eyes. Cheers, everybody.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.